Maybe we'll start with, we just spoke to Cole Perfetti, who told us Ryan Hartman flat out told him that he high-sticked him in the face the other day as payback for the Kaprizov-Dillon incident. I know Ryan Hartman's been fined. When you have something that blatant and dangerous, you satisfied that the fine's enough? Or I guess you would have liked to see probably a 4-minute penalty called on the play.
Yeah, the penalty would have been nice. Yeah, when you sit there and you get caught on saying something like that, the league is well aware of what happened and why it happened, and that's how they dealt with it. That decision was made by the league. I wasn't part of the conversation. It wasn't part. Well, they didn't ask me my opinion on it, but that's how the league wants to deal with things like that, and that's what they do.
That's a little old school, isn't it? In terms of we don't see that maybe in the modern NHL. Kind of the eye for an eye.
No, that's a little old school, and it would have been if that conversation had taken place and everyone else was well aware of it at the time, that would have been dealt with in a different way as well.
Tampa Bay, you guys have seen them once before. This will be the end of the season. There always seems to be, these games with Tampa always seem to have a lot of excitement and maybe an edge sometimes too.
Yeah, well, they're a great team over there. Clearly, we win the Stanley Cup a couple of years back to back, and 3 years they're a great team. They've got some elite players, elite goalie, elite forwards, elite defensemen. They're a great hockey team. So when we have nothing but respect for them. Obviously, Coop does a great job with them. So you've got to be ready when you play these elite teams, and that's on us to make sure we are.
Sorry, just one more on the high stick situation. Isn't that kind of an indirect way to get back at a big guy by high sticking a little guy?
Yeah, I don't understand it, but yeah, whatever.
That's all.
The two guys were in regular jerseys today, Ville and Rasmus. Does that mean anything, or is that just a...
They're getting closer, that's all that means. Okay. And there wasn't going to be any contact out there, morning skate. Had there been a contact drills, Ville probably would have been in the no-contact jersey, but Coop is ready for the battles. The problem we're facing now is the schedule and the travel, and there's no practice time. So what we have to do with both of them is get them out there and do as much as we can in the morning skates.
Yeah, I mean, do you expect Kupari maybe back on the road trip, or do you got to wait until maybe the 10th? I think is your next practice potentially.
Yeah, so again, we'll just have to see. We're going to have an optional here tomorrow morning, and we'll work him again. We'll work him again on Thursday, and it's day to day, and we'll see how he handles it all.
And Gus wasn't out there. Is he? What's the timeline on him now? Is it?
He wasn't out there today, so I don't know.
No,
it's a few more days clearly before he even skates. So
just to clarify him, did he get hurt in the morning skate in Chicago? He was on the ice in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
And so was it something, he tweaked something during that?
No, he just kind of felt it. From the game before. So and he tried a couple of movements and he felt it. So there's no need to play him. We're not going to play an injured player and risk it going further.
What does it say about Dominic Toninato's ability to sort of wasn't necessarily off the radar last year, but you'd been passed on the depth chart. What does it say about his ability to work his way back and claw his way back, and not just that, but I mean, you have him on the ice in the last minute.
Well, listen, he's a strong organizational player. He is, and that's why we wanted him back in the organization. He never complains when he gets sent down, and he's one of the hardest workers, and he's a great role model for all the young players when he's playing for the Manitoba Moose. But he's an experienced guy. He knows how to play, and he knows how to stay within his game. He knows what he's good at, and he stays within that game. He plays to his strengths. He's reliable. We had him on the ice at the end of the game because he had won a lot of face-offs. We wanted to send him out there. He blocked a big shot, so he's doing all the little things that line needs to do, and it's huge that he gets that goal. He could have won the game in Chicago. He hits the post with five minutes to go, right? So he's had his opportunities.
How do players do that? Like the knowing your strengths, but also maybe knowing your limitations. Is that a good quality?
He
to
knows
have?
what he has to do to help this team win. His game. That's why he's here. We don't expect him to try to do too much out there. Just this is what you do well to help us win, and the team comes first, and the winning is all that matters. And he buys into that every time he comes up.
So we hear about that high stick today that was intentional, and Adam having to fight Maroon.
that whole old school code still being around? Well, that's the players. That's the players. So they didn't like their player getting hurt, and it wasn't. I don't think it was just about that either. I think it was more. Maroon was trying to send a message to his team and our team. Okay, this is going to be a tough game for you guys today. So I don't think that fight's totally related to just the Kaprizov incident. That was dealt with. Middleton came in and dealt with Dylan on that, and that was dealt with. So I think it was more, okay, you're in our rink now, and we're going to make sure it's a tougher game for you guys, and that's why they start Maroon, and that's what happened. So, and I mean, that's tremendous leadership by Adam. He knew what was going to happen, so he just went over and said, okay, let's get this over with and let's move on here. But for me, it was Maroon sending a message to his team and our team, but more importantly, it was an unreal message what Adam sent to both teams, to their team. We're not going to back down here. And he sent a message to our team, we're here to win.
So you're okay with all that?
Yep, I am. Players play, man, and there's passion in the game. You never want to take the passion out of our game. You don't. None of us will like the product if we take passion out of our game. That's part of being a competitive player. That's part of, okay, we're here to win the game and do whatever it takes. I never did like the premeditated stuff before, but that's a totally different scenario because this was back to back. We had beaten them the day before, and Maroon was trying to get his team riled up.
Opening face-off, well, that's
Opening face-off.
premeditated.
Yep, that is. Yep, but again, I think they're totally different. Sometimes the complaint I used to have with those premeditated, they'd be halfway through the game and had absolutely nothing to do with what was going on, other than two guys trying to keep their job. Maroon's an important part of their team, and he was sending a message. So yeah.
And Rick, just one more on the Cole thing. Did the team not become aware until maybe after the game?
After the game.
Hartman had said that he did
Yeah.
that on purpose?
Yeah.
So you said it might have been dealt with differently, but so nobody really knew,
Nobody
I guess,
knew.
other than Cole.
No, exactly.
He kept it to himself.
Yep. Good.
Thanks.
Oh,
Just before you go in, this may be too complex to get into right now, but
listen, you got to be clear here now.
when it comes to your players on the fourth line, guys like Tony in and out of the lineup, how do you go about developing a hierarchy of who goes in and out of the lineup when people get back when absolutely no one has deserved to be taken out?
That's going to be that's a tough situation. But it's a situation that a coach doesn't mind because, okay, that means we're playing really well and we have to make some tough decisions. Because the flip side of that is, this is an easy decision. They're not playing well enough. They're coming out. This is an easy exchange. I like the fact that these guys are putting pressure on the injured guys and they're playing really well and they're showing us they don't deserve to come out of the lineup. I like that. That's internal competition. Yep, sorry.
No.
I'm not in a hurry. I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, then I have many. In the Minnesota series, overwhelmingly points come from the third and fourth line. I'm just curious how you feel about that all in.
Well, those are like playoff games. You got to grind it out, and that's what we told them. We're going to have to get a greasy goal here. There wasn't much room in that game for either team. I think the chances we had were like 7-5. So when you get into those games, then you've got to find a way to get greasy goals. Your top line is not going to score every game. The second line, so you need those guys to contribute, and they've done a really good job. We went into Chicago. The fourth line scored a big goal for us. Now we hit 4 goal posts, and we dominated the game. So we didn't win that one, we lost it overtime. But you need your third and fourth line guys to not only give you good quality minutes without the puck, but when they can chip in goals like that, it's absolutely huge.
As a coach, how do you perceive when you hit a goal post? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing?
It's a good thing. You beat the goalie. That's hockey. I mean, that's hockey. We hit 4 in Chicago, so we played. Yeah, we beat the goalie. We created the chance we wanted to create. It just didn't go in. That's hockey. It's not going to go in all the time.
And just Cole Perfetti in the New Year's Eve game, he takes the stick in the mush, and then he trying to make a defensive play, hits the post pretty hard, has an assist. He had a hell of a game.
He did. He kept coming back, and I know he slid into that goal post really hard, but he saved a goal. So he doesn't score a goal 5-on-5. He gets a power play assist, but he saves a goal, and that's just as important as scoring a goal, saving that goal. And it was a great effort by him.
Rick, what do you enjoy most about the dad's trips, in terms of seeing guys, that interaction? I mean, what's it like as a coach and a guy who's been around the game for a long time?
I think is awesome. it's a great opportunity for the team and the players to thank their fathers and their families for all the contributions and the sacrifices they had made to get here. It's quality. We don't get to spend enough time with our family during the winter, so it is special time. They get on the road trip with them. There'll be a dinner tomorrow night and hang out with them as much as they can. We also have a very busy schedule. We have 3 games in 4.5 days. There'll be a golf outing on Saturday because it's back 3 games in 4 nights. We'll give them Saturday off, so they'll have a good day there. Yep.